Hello, welcome back to my channel. Last week I was gone because I've been busy recording the LP or the album for these last couple singles that I've released, and I'm very excited to show you guys what I've been working on. Other than that, let's just get into the topic of today's video, which this week I wanted to talk about. It's kind of like two topics in one. I wanted to talk about one, consistency, and two, like following through on that consistency. These are things that recently in my life have found pretty important in terms of like staying level-headed in life in general. You know, a lot of times it's hard to rely on your emotions to carry you through the day, especially for me when I feel like my emotions are so up and down, and lately mostly been down, to be honest with you. But there's a couple things that you can establish in life, at least that I've found, that kind of will allow me to carry myself through that like down season, even though maybe sometimes it's a little harder than other times, and maybe sometimes I can't quite follow through. But overall, like staying consistent has allowed me, for lack of better words, have at least a consistent something in my life that isn't my emotions being all over the place. The first thing that I will say is that like a couple weeks ago when I established my goals, some of the things that I set forth were like pretty core goals in terms of like me just not feeling like I'm floating around and waking up in the morning asking myself what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. And some of those things I've set up kind of three things that are very important to me in terms of my goals and staying consistent, and things that I can ask myself every week or every so often, what am I doing to achieve these goals? And those three things that I have kind of set up for myself have been physical health, like going to the gym, and that kind of goes hand in hand with mental health because I feel like staying physically healthy also kind of helps my mental health. Another thing has been my relationships with my people and the people that I love. And another thing that I've wanted to stay consistent in, obviously, is like the music things and everything that goes with that. So I've tried relatively to stay consistent in all of those things regardless of where my emotions are throughout the day, following through on those consistencies, because I find that a lot of times in life, the only thing that is consistent are the things that you choose to be consistent in. Furthermore, I don't think that like without consistency, I don't think that there's ever really growth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that you're really going to grow if you're not staying consistent in at least something. And by consistency, I don't even necessarily mean doing it every single day, but just having it on your radar. And I think once you have things on your radar to be consistent in, over time, you will start to be consistent in that thing because it's on your radar of something that you should stay consistent in. I feel like if I don't say, I'm going to do this, then I don't do it. But if I tell myself, look, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to follow through on it, then I've always felt that those are things that I hold myself to. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times where I'm not truly consistent and I don't necessarily follow through because I don't have the energy to wake up in the morning, or I don't have the energy to do anything throughout the day. That's not necessarily like what it's about. A lot of times I feel like your emotions can bring you up and down throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the year, throughout the years, plural. The one thing that you can count on is like your brain at least telling you, here's the things that you need to stay consistent on. Once you start telling yourself that you are going to follow through on these things and you're going to stay consistent on these things, all of a sudden, I think you ultimately will. You've kind of primed yourself to tell yourself, you know, this is what I need to stay consistent in, and this is what I want to stay consistent in. You can stay consistent with your actions, but you can't stay consistent with your emotions, because your emotions, in my opinion and in experience, are uncontrollable. My emotions are uncontrollable. That is what I'm saying. But my actions are something that I can at least somewhat control to a degree. Overall, I think that like consistency is the only way to grow, and growing is the only way to just like feel like you're not so stagnant in life. And for me, being stagnant is like the worst thing for my brain. Like I always feel like I need to be learning new things and growing in life in order to, I don't know, in order to like just not feel so gross. Anyways, there's really no conclusion to this talk. The investigation is still ongoing for me, really, and I hope that it continues to be ongoing for you after this video. I know that my ramblings can sometimes be incohesive or maybe incoherent even at times. Regardless, I do hope you enjoyed. I'm very excited for you guys to hear the new music. I think you're gonna love it. Appreciate you all. I love you, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, bye. Somewhere that I fit in.